Welcome back to the NDSS Sports Podcast, where me, Gus Johnson, along with my co-hosts Ethan Stannard and Brady Allan, we're going to talk about what's going on here at NDSS with our sports, while also sports in the community. We're going to thank our sponsors, Believe Basketball Academy, Frontrunners, John Cooper, the realtor, Gina's Mexican Cafe, they make excellent chicken burritos, and Winmar for sponsoring this podcast. Episode 2 took a little bit to create here. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're back. And we're going to go right to the Athlete of the Month committee leader, Brady Allan, Solaire alumnus. Here you go.
Yeah, so this month we wanted to break barriers with the Athlete of the Month. So we selected for the first time in NDSS history 2 females and Dylan Barbary. So Dylan Barbary, the grade 11 boy, he went out and he had a month. He's a triple sport athlete who was part of the senior boys volleyball who won the North Islands, right? And then he's also one hell of a swimmer. And he's a cross-country athlete. He did it all this month, and we had to acknowledge him through that. And then for the females, we selected 2. Dylan's younger sister, Danielle. She is kind of a stud in the pool, okay? She's a grade 9 girl, and she was beating grade 12s, and she placed second in provincials. And then Isabel Parsons, who had one of the greatest weekends in NDSS history. She got a lot of medals over the weekend, and once again, we had to acknowledge her through the NDSS Athlete of the Month. So we selected 3 for the first time. It was a good month, the month of November.
Yeah, and we're going to have a better month, too, because basketball's starting up. So we're going to talk with Ethan Stannard, our other co-host here. We're going to talk about some lacrosse updates. So what do you got?
So we had a Victoria tournament the past weekend. Our juniors went 4 wins and 1 tie. The junior MVPs were Tanner Harrison, Keenan Dewit, O'Leary, Danny as the first name, Chris Moncton, he can bench 195, pretty strong guy, and Matty Palmer had a pretty good goal. I saw it myself. Our senior team went 4 wins, 1 loss. The senior MVPs were Keegan O'Kino, the best draw guy in Canada, Cole Prontak, Headless Chicken, Logan Bean, probably one of the best midi defensive guys of all time, and Carter Treverson, the best goalie to come out of NDSS.
Yeah. Former Van College Irish commit, and then he transferred to NDSS. Very good kid.
Community guy, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well liked around the school.
Yeah, does a lot of charity work, too. Loaves and Fishes, I believe. Yeah, Loaves and Fishes every Saturday instead of college football, so he's a great kid.
Yeah, I'd say our games went pretty well. We had a really close game against Mercer, but we came out on top. And the other games, our 1 loss, we were winning 5-1, and unfortunately, we decided to just throw the game away, and we took the L for there. Well, you know, we were destroying this Alberta team, and we were getting a bit too confident. And as you know, that's never too good. I have Connor Dewit brought in as a little interviewee here for me.
He's an exciting guy.
A lot of personality comes out of this kid. You know, he goes out there.
A lot of energy.
He's a team leader for us. He's out there. He's grinding every possession. He's a marathon guy. You know, marathon man. Dewit.
A lot of heart.
Dewit.
So, hello, Connor Dewit. I got a few questions for you here. For my first question is, you know, how did you play? How do you think you played over the Victoria tournament?
I think I performed pretty well down in Victoria. Sadly, none of it was filmed, so it doesn't amount to anything. But I think the team had a good run. I had a good run.
Good little go. That's always good to hear. How'd the Mercer game go in your opinion? Who do you think we proved we are that game?
I think we proved that we're the real Islanders.
Song?
They came out, made us switch jerseys.
Facts!
A little bit of a rivalry going on. We beat them before that, too. And they were coming out looking for blood, but we gave it to them 7-3, I believe.
Good. I've always hated Mercer, right? As one of the biggest NDSS sports fans out there.
Yeah, you see, back in grade 10, we played against the same Mercer Island team, and Brady was there to watch,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
watched that game. It was probably one of the best lacrosse games of all time, and he's hated them ever since.
them
Well,
ever
we don't
since.
hate them.
No, we
It's a
respect them.
nice
We respect them as a
rivalry.
program. It's just
So Connor, I have another question for Connor here. So we heard that you are a bit of a fourth quarter specialist. You can slow down the field when you want to. You run into the offensive zone, they got to worry about you going right to the rack. So they make you have to slow down and get the offense set up. They have to let you do it. Like, how do you do it?
With some juniors coming up and playing senior for us, they're usually a bit nervous to come out and play with grade 12s. A lot of expectations for them. So I like to run the offensive end and slow it down, let them know what to do, running plays, get set up.
So moving on, we're going to talk about Gus Johnson basketball for this season. So here for basketball, we have Mr. Giske. Welcome to our little studio here.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Beautiful studio. I love the green.
Thank you very much. So we have some questions to ask you here. After a year break due to COVID, how are you feeling about this year's season?
Well, we were really eager to get back in the gym, right? We started up as soon as we could. And I love to see the athletes all ready to play. This podcast is awesome,
Yeah, totally.
right? Like everyone's keen to get back with all the sports. Yeah, I think so. And it's good just to get working and improving on all our sports. And
We also have asked, do you think being the junior boys coach for a year helps with coaching them again in their final year of high school?
well, yeah, it helps with relationships, right? Being a coach, I think that's number one thing is having good relationships with the athletes, and then they'll trust you, and we'll trust each other, and hopefully get the best out of both coach and athlete.
And for a little on the fun side, what tournament are you looking most forward to this season?
We just got into the Oak Bay tournament, Gary Taylor. Gus will tell you a little bit more about that, I'm sure. It's a real strong tournament. We were a late addition, but we're going to see some of the best teams in the island and the province there, and really show us where we're at, right? So it's going to be, a challenge probably at that point, but
We're ready for a battle, though.
yeah, we're going to have a lot of battles.
Yeah.
A lot of battles.
We love those.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big personalities on the senior boys basketball team this season. Do you think it's beneficial to us, or it puts digging a hole, as some would say?
Digging a hole. Well, personality is good, right? We just got to work through it together as a process, and hopefully that passion for the game turns into a good thing. And hopefully it brings people together, right? Lights things up, creates leaders. And it's good when people like each other, right? And if you show personality, you be yourself, And like I said, a relationship piece, I think that helps. So we just got to learn to foster that in a good way. And being away for a year, being away from like the rules of sports and the commitment of sports, I think that's a challenge. But we're just starting again. We're getting back to it. So I have a lot of high hopes for everybody on this team.
All right, here we have a kid who can play soccer, right? His name's Marshall Dadzie. And, we just took him out of class. We brought him here because we needed to talk. So, Marshall, you guys made the provincials, then proceeded to get 5th in the total province. How does that feel?
It feels good.
Feels good, eh?
Yeah, it's the first time we've made it to provincials for soccer in quite a while, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, and Marshall is from England, if you can't tell by his voice. He's an Englishman, okay?
Yeah.
So, Marshall, after not getting your season, how did your team get ready for this season? Because, COVID took out the 2020 year.
Most people were in the soccer academy to start with,
Yeah.
so they had some practice before.
You were getting your reps in, hey?
Oh, yeah. And then we did some practices before provincials, so that's how we pretty much got ready.
Yeah, you always got to stay loose through COVID. All right, who is a leader and who brings everybody together on the team? Who's that spark plug for you guys?
Well, it's mostly everyone, to be honest with
Mostly
you.
everyone,
Everyone's like a part of the team and brings everyone together and all that stuff.
So there's not like a kid in grade 12 who's really just...
Yeah, there's a lot of, like everyone's puts in a part.
That's good. Yeah, that's the way you want to have it.
It's just
All right.
It's a whole puzzle, Everyone needs their own piece in there.
Yeah. All right. Oh, this is a good question. As a younger player on the team, how did the dynamic work between you and the senior players?
It was pretty good because one of the senior players is my brother, and we
Okay.
practice a lot together.
How does that dynamic work? Do you guys fight with each other ever? a
Well,
little bit harder on him?
yeah, we're harder on each other, I'd
Yeah.
say, but it works for the best, to be honest with you.
That's good.
Yeah, and I've practiced with most of the senior boys before in soccer academy, as I was saying, so it was pretty good.
So the older guys did teach you a couple things. Then,
Yeah,
eh?
definitely.
All right, that's going to wrap up our Marshall Dadzie interview. Had a blast. Thank you for being here, Marshall.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And good luck next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the second episode of the NDSS Sports Podcast, and we'll be back with a third shortly.
Of course we will.